don't want them trying to sue you for some frivolous crap.
Well, I mean, I had somebody threaten to swat me for my opinion on Titans. Okay.
Pussies.
All right. Please tell me we are on line.
Watch live now. Pope 5 Starfire Goddess. Relentless update.
Are we live? Are we doing it live?
That's what it says. Yeah. That's what it's saying, but let me check the link itself. And yes, we are.
Okay, are we actually online though? It's not just messing with me.
I'm seeing it say live chat.
Okay. Hey guys, I am Fire, and I am here to talk Relentless, and also about. Well, first I'm going to talk about how disappointed I am in Titans. I mean, it's really hard to be really disappointed in something that you already were disappointed in.
But it always reaches new lows.
Yeah, it always reaches new lows. I don't get it. And you know what the funny part is? Normies that watch this show are starting to call them out too. They're starting to go, you guys need to stop. Like, you need to just let us exist, man. And you just need to treat these characters with an ounce of respect. And now, like, normies are actually going and saying, yeah, Anna Diop Starfire got messed over. Like, that's not Starfire.
No.
And because I have to say this every freaking time I critique Anna Diop Starfire, it's not of the actress.
It's because of the writing and the costume design.
And how they've taken her character and made her the complete. It is literally everything that people hated with New 52 Starfire, except she's not explicitly like sexualized in a way that would kind of be like, yeah, that's insulting to women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of complaints on New 52 Starfire, but she has the best drawn Starfire. I think John Boy Myers has probably done better, but yeah, New 52 Starfire was the best she's ever looked.
Yeah, if only they could have kept that look and just gave her better writing. But because we couldn't have nice things, we got that Starfire solo series.
I mean, okay, one of the problems I had with New 52 Starfire is the fact that this is a character that hasn't changed her costume in like forever. And then all of a sudden she gets like a super duper revealing costume change, and it just, because I get with New 52 they were making costumes needlessly complicated, but with Starfire I feel like you could have achieved the exact same thing with her classic costume, or at least done something that still looked like her original suit. I just committed suicide. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. Usually we get like Yvonne in chat. I wonder if YouTube just. Oh, hey Lorenzo. Hey Pope Raven. How are you guys doing? But yeah, with Titans, and we're not going to talk about Titans too much because we are going to be talking some Relentless updates. Oh, I'm really bad at this game.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to get over there? The heck? Okay. But with Titans, they needlessly killed Donna Troy, and literally the dumbest.
And this was on top of coming up with the dumbest way to make Robin come Nightwing.
Yeah, okay, it was so late. Like, okay, I honestly think that they only included Nightwing this season because they realized his butt was trending on Twitter. Like, I really can't think of any other reason why they would.
Yeah. And should I shameless plug while we're in the stream?
Okay, so it didn't even end the stream, so we're probably gonna have this stream end randomly on us for no fucking reason. Thank you, Streamlabs, for always being consistent and being the worst streaming platform I've ever used. Um, Thank you, you two, for getting rid of Google Hangouts just because you had somebody try homophobia. And again, it's ridiculous. But okay, so with Relentless, I'm sorry, I'm really low energy right now. I've been extremely sick. I haven't been able to stream. I apologize. That's my fault. But with the Relentless updates, I want to tell everybody what we've kind of done, what I'm currently doing, and kind of where we're at right now. I'm sure most of the Cult of Raven knows that we have been designing background characters. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the characters in mention have been people from Pope Fire's species. And if you guys don't know, Pope Fire is actually an alien from a planet where they have different races, and the races are sort of based on their fire, and their eye color kind of determines what type of fire they will have. There are various different races that kind of vary in different fire. Some fire can summon weapons, some fire can heal, and some fire can summon animals. It just depends on your parents. And the way it works is the priest race are kind of dying out. There's only two female priests left, and both of them are not full priest, so there is a high chance because okay, so whenever to get your fire, your parents have to sacrifice their fire to give to their child when their child is born. So essentially what it is if you have someone from a warrior race and then a priest race, if they get together, there's a very high chance that their child is going to be a warrior instead of a priest because the priest gene is defensive, it's not aggressive. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really attack for the fire to end up in the child. So what essentially happens is the priests are dying out, even though because essentially the priests are probably the most powerful race for the simple fact that they have a healing fire that keeps them alive and also can keep their allies alive. Um, but what that ends up causing is because there's this defensive, not aggressive, it causes a lot of problems to where the other races start targeting the priest and trying to breed priest into their race. The only problem is it's a very regressive gene. So the only two female priests left are Pope Fire and one other female priest, which neither of them are full priest. So there's a high chance that if those two do ever procreate, that there will be less priests in the world. And a lot of priests do not want to procreate for the simple fact that it would take two priests to make one priest, and that would mean essentially that you lose your immortality and your race is essentially dying. And the priest, because of, and I can't get into too much spoilers, but the priest, for a very specific religious reason, do not want to lose their fire and they do not want to go extinct. Um,
Yep.
so essentially, what it is we inspired a lot of Pope Fire's race off of members of Cult of Raven, and when we kind of reveal more of their character designs, I'm sure you guys will be able to see which member is which person of the Cult of Raven. Now, we did get permission to do this. I did ask all Cult of Raven, like, hey, I would love to include you guys in this story. Is there a way I can do it that would be respectful to have you guys be a part of this? So, several of the priests that you'll see in um, Pope Fire's planet are based off of real life people. And no, I will not put personal bias in there. The priests will be written as good guys.
Yep.
There is one bad priest, but um, she's not based off of anybody in particular. Uh, Now, Pope Fire's origin, I'm not going to get too into it, but there is the priests kind of have been a little overprotective of Pope Fire and have kind of made her kind of you know unaware of stuff going on. She's a very innocent character. She's a very happy character, and she ends up running away.
Yeah.
She ends up running away and ends up on Earth because the priest from thousands of years ago actually would go to Earth as vacation time. Several of Pope's
Mm.
species would go there, and so Pope Fire would ends up going to Earth because she wants to go vacation too. She wants to see, well, why can't we go to Earth to vacation? And she ends up running into Raggedy, and I do mean actually running over him with her spaceship, and that's how they meet. Um,
Yep.
so that's a little bit of the Pope Fire origin. Yes, actually, Joshua is probably going to be kind of like an older brother figure to Pope Fire. Um, and while Pope Fire is definitely takes inspirations from some of my thoughts and feelings, as you know, I as obviously my name is people call me Pope Fire, and you know, so Pope Fire does take inspirations from some of my insecurities, some of my better qualities. I would not say that she's supposed to represent me. I think, you know, because I put a little bit of my insecurities in all the characters. With Raggedy, it's more my insecurities with, you know, not feeling like I get recognized for some of the stuff I do. With Pope Fire, it's more my insecurities of how it feels like I have this constant pressure to be this happy person when I have emotions. I am human. And then with Dead Boy, it's more the insecurities I have with wanting to stay away from danger and wanting to remain as safe as possible. So I do think that
Yes.
while Pope Fire does take a little bit more inspirations from me, I do think that all the characters have kind of gotten part of my fears, part of the stuff that I would really enjoy to do. Thank you, Pope Raven.
Yes.
You are
There's elements of yourself put into the
well.
character, but they're not avatars of
Yes,
you.
I mean, you know how they say write what you know? It's essentially me
Exactly.
writing what I know and kind of writing things that I felt and experienced. Um,
Yep.
Church of Starfire is more boring. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, guys, I have not introduced the chat. Thank you so much, Risey Lee. Actually, some of the Cult of Raven are going to be in a band, so people like Yvonne, Mo, and Risey will be in a rock band that Raggedy actually listens to, and we're going to introduce them a little bit earlier than the rest of Cult of Raven. So, sorry,
Yeah.
guys, but that was Raggedy picked three people and then I picked Risey out, so we were like, let's have them be in a band because we feel like those people kind of stick out a little bit more than the rest of Cult of Raven that are known for mostly trolling me. And I do love my Cult of Raven. I tell Joshua, I embarrass Joshua. I embarrass both Joshua and Cult of Raven. I'm like, hey, I love you, and they're like, okay, leave me alone. But thank you, Lorenzo, for popping in the chat. I have not seen you in forever. I'm so happy you've been chilling my chats. Yvonne is here, who is best mod. Yes, this room does exist. Ninja is here. Ninja has a small part in Relentless as well. Um, Charlie, hello, Charlie. Joshua is here saying hello, Raven. Yes, hello, the Ravens, I suppose. Uh,
Hmm.
Nighthawk is saying hi, Pope Fire. Hi, everybody. Yes, hello,
Hmm.
Nighthawk. Ricey is here. I think I already introduced him. I think I met everybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm trolling you 10 times harder now. You can't troll me 10 times harder than you already do. Like that's it. It would be you would have to be awake literally 3 more hours a day, and I don't think that's humanly possible. Who said that, Rick? Um, okay, get wrecked, Raven. I once heard that the cult of Raven were devil worshippers. Well, technically, Raven is a devil. I mean, she's part demon. But okay. So to get back to the story, to know about the updates, we have, excuse me, we have issue 1 scripted. Really, the only thing that has to happen now is Speedy has to go in and edit the dialogue because
I'm looking forward to that.
Raggedy and Popefire are kind of known for having beautiful grammar that never needs to ever be changed. Um, I noticed how I lumped Raggedy in there too because I don't want to be the only one embarrassed. But but we have issue. What we've essentially done is we've planned pretty far ahead. We're doing the Marv Wolfman route of knowing where we're going with our story, while also making sure
Mm.
that we don't go too far ahead. So it's probably going to move. Our goal is to do an action fight in every issue, as well as character building every issue. Now we know that's a little unrealistic on some of these because it's only going to be like what 20, 25 pages. So
Yeah.
we probably won't get. We may get action scenes and flashbacks, stuff like that. But we do want to make it to where it's something fun to read that keeps you entertained and invested in these characters. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so far, the feedback we've gotten on issue 1, because we have sent it to a handful of people to critique, has been mostly positive. Um, no, I'd say, have we gotten. Oh my god, excuse me. I'm so sorry. We really haven't been
Please get
asked to
well.
change anything yet. I mean, we had some feedback about Speedy's costume, and we changed that, and which is why he has the 0 and 1 now, or Dead Boy's costume. Sorry, I get you guys. I always call you I always call you Speedy, so now he's Speedy, and it's terrible. Okay, so we're not actually. What we're doing is I have been using some of the Patreon money to do Relentless artwork from various artists to kind of put in the webcomic when time comes. The stuff that you see for the icon is going to be sent out as Christmas cards, as well as 2 other cards that I have not shown you guys yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But yes, can I do? Yes, Pope Raymond, you can do Relentless artwork. Actually, I encourage it. I would love. Yes, you're laughing because you know it's Pope Raymond. I would love to see more Relentless artwork. Spider Knight has been our biggest contributor. He has done some of the funniest. Like he literally drew one of the scenes from Relentless, and I had to message him. I was like, "Did Raggedy show you the script?" And he was like, "No, I just drew what I thought these characters would do." And I'm like, holy heck, man, you love these characters. We haven't even released the first issue, and Spider Knight's already been like he already has the characters down. It's hilarious. Raven, you're such a jerk to me. Whatever happened to Juju? The third, he actually voiced one of our videos recently, but Fire's mic kept cutting out, so we've got to redo the whole thing. It was supposed to be our Thanksgiving video, but then I got like severely sick, so I couldn't re-record it. What do
It
they
still
want?
was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it sucks. Like you have no idea. When I went over the audio, I was like, because you and me both freaking cut out.
Yeah, too much.
Like it was so bad that I was like, because there's moments when we speak over each other that make it kind of funny, and I have to redo all of this. Like I am so mad about it because I loved our take. We got song to freaking sing, and then it's like, okay,
Yes.
I guess we won't anymore. Let me see. Actually, I'll show you guys some of the. I'll show you Joshua's character design. No, this is not the official one. This is my This is my take on him. What I do is I send what I think they look like, and then Raggedy will work on it, and then he'll do the official artwork. Let me see. Sorry guys, Streamox has been very, very evil to me lately, so I've been struggling with it. There we go. That is Joshua's character. I'm not going to give away his name just yet, but he is one of the priests. Now, this is not his
Mm-hmm.
official design. This is just what he'll essentially look like. This is what I sent in because this is what I thought he looked like.
A
It's
concept for now.
just a concept, yes.
Yeah, all of it's still looking good though.
Let me close that so I can find the other picture. Let's see. Here is the Relentless. Oh my god, if it'll. Well, that is the Relentless team on a car ride. That is Dead Boy, Pope Fire, um, Raggedy Man, and that is our ninja character who we have not named yet because he's not going to be featured for a bit. But essentially, this scene is Dead Boy and Raggedy kind of being on each other's nerves while Pope Fire eats popcorn. Um, yeah.
Yep.
This is actually done by Mickey Tang. my current chibi artist, and I love her. She's beautiful, and I believe she's a she. I'm gonna be embarrassed if she's not. Um, let's see. I got. If I can find the other one. There we go. Here is the Relentless. These are, for some reason, it's super blurry. But these are the Relentless characters that you'll see early on. Some of these are spoilers for later, but why is it so blurry? Um, yes, this is Shield, Water Song, Hassett the Humacat, Dead Boy, Popefire, Raggedy, Cutlass, Sword, and then our two ninja characters. But essentially, what this world is, she showed a picture of herself. Yes, I did. What essentially, um, Raggedy Man looking like strong is there. Yeah, actually, Trusty did some artwork for us too. Trusty actually did the logo. Um, Trusty did. Is it actually picking up the? Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done with Streamlabs. You have no idea how annoyed I am today. Um, but uh, Trusty did the logo for us. I'm probably gonna have to go in and change a few things on it, like the color. But it's pretty OP, and I'm really excited to show you guys. Because it's Trusty Sidekick, and I love Trusty Sidekick. Let me see if I can finally get the right one to load up. I freaking hate Streamlabs.
Yeah, don't we all?
Did you guys get to see the falling one? Because I feel like Streamlabs messed me over and was like, nah, fam, you don't get to see. Okay, so now that I have a non-blurry picture, uh, okay, so we have Shield, this little guy right here. He is the sidekick of Sword. Can we see the logo? I will not show you the logo yet. No, it's still a surprise. Only Trusty, Raggedy, and Dead Boy have seen it. This is Cutlass. He is a okay. So I'm not gonna give you guys too much information on these characters just yet because I do want you guys to have some surprises when you read the book. Then you have Raggedy,
Yeah.
Popefire, and Dead Boy. Now we've already gone over their powers. Dead Boy has the ability to regenerate through nanobites. Without his will, he does not get to choose when this ability works. It goes on its own. This
Yep.
is Popefire. She has the ability to her. Okay, so essentially, her blood, when exposed to oxygen, turns into a fire that can essentially heal people. We will discuss how she gets that power probably in Arc 2. Raggedy Man, it has the inability to die. He heals like a normal person. He just cannot die. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Which means that if his body breaks the way a lot of comic characters breaks, it might take him several months to heal.
yes, but with Pope Fire there, it's
It speeds it
yes.
up.
Now, what makes this what we did is we want each character to rely off of each other because one of the things that made us love comic books was most of us read team books. So essentially, with Relentless, we're writing a free rub comic that um, is about a team of friends that kind of have to rely on each other. And while they don't always agree with each other, because they do have conflicting personalities, they do still consider each other family and have this deep bond with each other that kind of makes them connect. Hassett the human cat
Yes.
has every ability that a human has. He's just a kitty cat. Power of friendship solves
Mm-hmm.
all. No, we won't go that cheap. We have Water Song, or Song for short. She has the ability to sing and control water. We have Shield, who has the ability to. I believe his ability has more to do with like technology, and he can like see surrounding areas around him. We have a
Yeah.
power of friendship. Yes, we have the two ninjas, which I will not give away their powers just yet because I kind of want those to be spoilers. We have Cutlass, and Cutlass's ability, he can see short spans into the future. So, oh, and Sword's ability, he
Mm-hmm.
has the ability to create weapons um, throughout his body, mostly through his choice of swords. Now, the main three characters are, of course, Raggedy, Popefire, and Deadboy. The characters surrounding them are kind of characters that you'll see throughout the series. So they're not the main characters. They're more, kind of the heroes they look up to, or in some cases look down to. I know that Raggedy does not like Cutlass, while Popefire is madly in love with Cutlass, and who would blame her? Cutlass is freaking gorgeous. Um, but all of these characters, humans beside. No, Popefire is an alien, and I'm not gonna get too into some of these yet. Who is Dead Boy based off of? Pope Freak, you're such a jerk. Yes, Popefire is actually
Me, of
Popefire
course.
is actually an alien. Um, she's that was the whole reason we talked about like the races and stuff. She comes from kind of a planet where kind of think of her race as kind of like a D&D game because you got mages, you got warriors, priests, all this fun stuff. The Ken's human too. I think he's a human cat. Well,
Yeah.
he has all the abilities of a human.
Hmm.
All humans look alike. Well, we'll kind of explain why Pope Fire looks human as the story goes on. As I told you guys, her people did like to vacation on Earth, which is where they picked up several human languages. But
Hmm.
she is definitely an alien because my character isn't
Yes.
Starfire. I
Yeah.
can easily get around DC's copyright because my character is not Starfire. She doesn't even have the same abilities as Starfire. Um, and trust me, I know enough about Starfire that I can easily get around the copyright on Starfire because I know Starfire's abilities, and I can assure you, Popefire's abilities come from a different origin as well as different power source as it is.
And the powers even look different.
I mean, she looks extremely different from. I mean, I guess really the only thing they have in common is like the purple, which actually has a part
Hmm.
of the story as well. I'm sure you guys have seen the Relentless piece that Gary Shipman did. Um,
Hmm.
the original shield was actually Raggedy, and Raggedy's shield were purple and blue. And Pope Fire took such inspiration from Raggedy that she took his colors from him because she was so inspired by his personality. Um, I don't really see it. Again, it's a completely different purple as well. But yes,
Yes.
uh, that while
Completely.
there are inspirations from Starfire, I can assure you that this is a different character. I mean, really, the only thing they have in
Oh,
common is that I like both of them.
yeah. That and they have fire at the end of their
Yeah,
name.
but again, um, they're.
That's a very, very tangential
I
similarity
mean,
at best.
Firestar has more in common with Starfire than. But okay, um, essentially, you guys are such jerks. Essentially, what? Okay, so what did make us come up with this idea? Raggedy, Speedy, and I were kind of chatting, and we were kind of talking about New 52 and how we would have fixed New
Yeah.
52 Red Hood and the Outlaws. So essentially, what this is us kind of writing Red Hood and the Outlaws if you know we had been writing
Good
them.
people were
If
writing
we
it.
cared about like if the people writing these characters cared about them. So while this did come from the idea of New
Hmm.
52, Red Hood and the Outlaws, the characters are extremely different with very mineral
Yes.
similarities. Like it's, again,
Yeah. It's
you
inspiration. It's not
can
imitation.
make the same um, concept with Popefire having similarities with Superman. You can claim that
Yeah.
everybody has taken. I mean, that's the thing. Well, Starfire is my favorite character, and I have taken inspirations from stories like Marv Wolfman. This is my own original character with my own original ideas put into it, and I do find it um, completely different from
Yeah.
Starfire for the simple fact that I know enough about Starfire to know what her powers are, what her backstory is, and how to. I think Profire is very similar to ET. Probably. I mean, okay, so when we get down to like their powers and stuff, Raggedy and Dead Boy kind of rely more on weapons. With Dead Boy, his
Yes.
is he has goggles as well as he carries around his crossbow. Dead Boy would rather not be a superhero, to be honest. Um, he would much rather be at
Yeah.
home, safe. What he's essentially doing is Dead Boy has this fear of becoming completely a robot because his nanobites are taking over every time he gets something as simple as a paper cut. So he's essentially
Mm-hmm.
only, I mean, he's not staying around only for Pope Fire, but because her powers are so useful to him, it makes more sense to stay around her, as well as the fact that they are really good friends and have been for a while. Um,
Yeah.
and then Raggedy, he just wants to prove that he's a good hero. He's been a sidekick all his life, and he just wants to show that he's a good guy. He's a good hero. He left because Sword gets really dark. Sword kills people, and Raggedy's just like, I just want to be a good guy. I want to be taken seriously as a hero, and I want to change how heroes do things. Um, Fire phone home. And so with Pope Fire, she's just there because she follows. She's more of a follower than she's a leader. No, Pope Fire is not a Mary Sue. Pope Fire is actually kind of a jerk in the book. She doesn't mean to be, um, but she's kind of a because okay. Each character I have made sure has character flaws, and Pope Fire's biggest character flaw is that she is always happy to the point that she's happy at inappropriate times, and it makes people really
Yes.
not like her, even though she's trying desperately to have people like her. But she just always has to be happy. And we kind of explain kind of later on in the story because I don't want to give away too much. I kind of just want you guys to kind of be excited for some stuff. And you're like,
Oh
thank
yeah.
you, Pope Raven. You're such a jerk. Actually, I think we're gonna have another bad priest. I actually okay, so when I designed the priest race, I they actually look more Egyptian, and Pope Fire does not look Egyptian. If you look at her, there's actually a particular reason for that. As I stated earlier, both female priests are half priests. They're not full priests, so they run the risk of if they do procreate, that their child not being a priest.
Yeah.
I like goofing off.
And not wanting to lose their mortality.
Well, Nighthawk, essentially what I'm just doing now is kind of explaining bits and pieces. It's not supposed to be like completely recording it right now. You're just supposed to get bits and pieces to know that
Yeah.
we are kind of working on things. And is there a short version?
Yeah.
The short version would be three superheroes combined together to try and stop a maniac that's been going around killing superheroes. That's kind of the short version.
Yeah.
Everything we're just talking about is just the lore of the characters, kind of what we've decided on, and sort of updates that we've been working on. Actually, so we have a few characters that are going to be the background. We've gotten permission to have Skunk Girl. We've gotten permission to see Sportman. So keep an eye out for some Easter eggs of those characters because we have Naomi, Skunk Girl, Sportman. Jacob is doing. He allowed me to use one of his characters. So keep an eye out for during Relentless to see um, to see sort of some of those background characters because we were going to hide them throughout the story. Essentially, what this is kind of a love letter to not only our favorite comics, but to the people that helped us get here because a lot of the characters are inspired by people I've met through comics Twitter. Even the main bad guy is based off of somebody that I really looked up, like I really, really love and look up to. And he was like, "Oh, I would love to be the villain of inspiration." I'm like, "Yes." Um, I mean, look at Sword. Sword is probably the most prominent. He is actually designed by my adopted father, James Salette. He designed Sword and was like, please use this character. And I was like, I love you so much, Dad. Um, so, Sword and Hassett are both based around kind of my adopted fathers from the Saving Comics group.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these characters are taken. I mean, obviously, Song is based off a song. Um, Cutlass is actually based off of Charlie. So these characters actually have more in common with the people they're based off of than actual comic book characters. Um, excuse me. Shield is based around Spider Knight. All these fun things, and there's gonna be more characters in the background. I know Trusty Sidekick said I could kill him in the comic. Oh yeah, I'm so excited for that because I actually okay. So I was trolling him and I designed Trusty a disco suit, kind of similar to Disco Nightwing's, and he liked it. I'm like, I'm supposed to be over here trolling you, and you're sitting here telling me you like it. You're supposed to know this is terrible, and he did. He was like, oh, I love it. I'm like, so there's no point trolling Trusty. He trolls me. He out trolls me. It's hilarious. Um, Oh, EOTs is actually doing some artwork for us in it. So there's gonna be like background stuff or various other artwork that you guys need to probably look out for. Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you are confused about that I can kind of answer without spoilers? Which one is Nacho? Gray and orange one. That's not actually his name. Essentially what happened was I told Raggedy I would like ninjas, and Raggedy said no, Popefire, and I said I'm going to do ninjas. So that's how we have two ninja characters, and Raggedy's very mad at Popefire right now.
Yeah.
I would no, that's not how it went. But I did tell Raggedy we needed ninjas, and he was like, all right, if you can figure out a way to get them involved, we can do ninjas. And I celebrated by adding ninjas. So these characters, I come back as Force Ghost Trusty. Well, okay, so the start of the comic, we're gonna have a lot of heroes die. Um, and I do mean like we have villains. Like essentially, what happens is these heroes that ultimately have really stupid powers that don't really come in handy have to step up and actually be heroes, even though their powers probably aren't the ones you want when having to go in the attack. So essentially, when all these heroes are being killed by a madman who's essentially trying to take over the city, and I think we're trying to base the city more off of like Dallas because we're so sick and tired of New York and stuff. But essentially, what happens is these heroes that normally would kind of be sitting at home playing video games step up and have to become their own heroes and fight this maniac and try and save as many people as possible without essentially letting everybody die.
Yeah.
Why does Trusty's
And
character die, Popefire? A lot of characters die. It's not because I don't love Trusty. I love Trusty. He's one of my favorite artists out there. It's just characters have got to die in this story because our main heroes are immortal. The risk has to be more. They can't let the people that they love around them die.
yes.
Why?
And we can't have a story where nobody dies.
Yeah, and while we will try to keep language and stuff at a minimum, it's not going to be like you're probably going to want to read this to somebody that's like 15 to modern comic book age, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, we do have plans for. No, I'm not gonna spoil that. No, you guys are trying to get me to spoil stuff, and Ragnary's gonna kill me. He's doing just too much put fire, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm just so excited. And then Ragnary's gonna not feed me my rations of 3 Cheez-Its a day. Well, okay, so I have told Raggedy. I am gonna be honest. I have told Raggedy that like a handful of characters that I like are not gonna die, but some of the characters will die. And Raggedy and I are probably gonna have discussions on because there's like one particular character that I'm like, you can't touch them, and Raggedy's like, Poke Fire, it's gotta happen. All right,